Hi everyone, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Amber.
And we're
Witches Talking Tarot.
And today we're going to be discussing rising above the chaos of life, chaos of the universe, the chaos that surrounds us every fucking day.
Yeah.
This is a really important episode, I think, especially for me in my life. And
I think it's important for everybody.
I agree. One of the things about practicing the craft is, I think, learning to be able to sit and hear the chaos around you, but still be within yourself. I agree. Not lose it.
No, I agree, but I feel like one of the things about progressing in the craft is learning to rise above the chaos, not sit within it and ignore it, but literally rising above it so as to not be participating in any way, shape, or form. Because, like, when you think about it, so life either gives you, like, the universe gives you nothing at all or everything all at once, right? And it constantly tests you, right? And basically it's all just this one big spiral pattern that you keep going deeper and deeper until you see more and more, right? But when you rise above the chaos, you rise above those patterns, you do not engage in those things. You are elevating yourself, you are raising your vibration, and you are progressing forward on your path by removing all of the obstacles that cyclical pattern is putting in your way. Now, this is not toxic positivity. Don't accuse me of that, because it's actually going to be quite the opposite, as we discussed.
I totally feel you.
Yeah, I didn't mean you, but yeah.
And like, oh shit, what was I going to say? I'm so sorry, I got distracted. But like, the way that I see it is, a lot of. It is so hard for me to talk right now. I'm so sorry. I'm sleepy. But meditation, go somewhere quiet and meditate. Well, in my opinion, you should probably learn to be able to meditate in a not so quiet area, because that's how grounding happens. You have to be able to ground yourself in a chaotic situation.
And I mean, in that regard, that is where, like, being able to separate yourself comes into play. Like, not only are you just ignoring those background noises, like, you're literally elevating yourself beyond it affecting you. And that is why I say, like, this isn't toxic positivity, because like this episode is based on an epiphany that Maddie and I both had a couple of weeks ago, separately on the same day, just about certain things with life. And like, one thing that I realized as we've discussed it, as I've been thinking about this episode, in order to rise above the chaos, that means you don't engage in the chaos. To not engage in the chaos, to a degree, you have to stop caring. You have to stop caring about the things that are existing on this plane, because to spiritually rise above it, you can't engage and interact and react.
You know what's kind of a red flag for me? Or it's not until it is. Like, it's not a red flag until just now, There are people who say things like, I thrive in chaos. That's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like saying you thrive in chaos, it just kind of is the opposite of what we need to do. We need to not thrive in the chaos. We need to rise above the chaos, like you were saying.
Well, if anybody saw the faces I'm making, I actually say, like, I thrive in chaos. I was raised in organized chaos. I exist in organized chaos, which I don't really think it's much different than regular chaos. Organized chaos just means you kind of know where everything is in your big fucking mess. But I think being able to thrive in chaos is a step in being able to get beyond chaos, because if chaos creates anxiety and upset in you, then it makes it more difficult to get beyond that chaos. But if you can embrace chaos, then that is possibly a step toward getting beyond the chaos. Does that make sense?
I hear you, and I think that has to do with, like, there are some people who say they work with chaos magic. So people who can thrive in chaos, is that something you'd say they would be more in tune with, is chaotic magic then?
So I would say, yes, they would harness the energy of chaos to do their workings. And as I've said in, like, not too long ago in a previous episode, like, I realized, like, a lot of my own powerful workings were done in chaos magic. I just didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? But also I was raised in organized chaos too. So it's like, that's a comfortable place for me, if that makes sense. Because I was raised in this chaotic environment. Not to say that it was a bad environment. I just mean, like, literally, like, we had stacks of mail all over the place. Not like a hoarder's house. Don't misunderstand, guys. I just mean, that's how it was phrased to me. And maybe it's not even quote-unquote organized chaos. Maybe it's not even quote-unquote chaos at all. But that's what it was referred to when I was growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I've learned to, like, embrace that chaos. But that said, like, I get sensory overload. So there's kinds of chaos I can't handle. And there's kinds of chaos I can handle. And I think we're talking about both kinds of chaos right now. You know, and so there's the, you know, maybe there's, you have to learn to deal with it in different ways. There's the chaos that you can't handle, so you have to learn to get beyond it. And then there's the chaos you can handle, so you embrace it, so you can get beyond it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But either way, the idea is to get beyond the chaos.
Right, exactly. We said chaos. Amber said chaos
like
so many times.
God, if I was saying a demon's name, like, they would be summoned.
Oh my God, that is terrifying.
I'm not going to make a joke that came into my head
don't.
Because, yeah, no. Nope, I got to sleep tonight.
But no, like, why is my mind doing this? I have a feeling I know why my mind is doing this, but, like, I am pulling a blank. I am so sorry.
Well, like, one thing, like, again, it comes from that, like, if you start from the idea of everything happens at once or nothing happens. Right. And so the universe is constantly testing you.
Well, the universe was born out of chaos. I mean, if you believe the Hellenic version, like, which I do, it literally says in the beginning there was chaos, and through chaos came, or is it Eros? Love would be Eros, right? No, Eros is Aphrodite's son. Through chaos came love, came someone.
There's literally a tab on my phone that is open, like, to that in my internet.
Right, like,
but
it, you know.
Yeah, either way, it's like love and light comes together and makes everything, but it was chaos in the beginning. In almost
there's always,
like,
almost even in the Christian lore.
And like, every creation story, it's chaos to begin with.
Right, so the universe itself is
just chaos. So again, if you're rising above that level, you are taking yourself to the next level. Right. Literally. And again, it's about not engaging, not reacting. So here's the shitty part of that, guys, because I said this isn't toxic positivity. If you getting that in your head earlier when you heard me talking, like, don't think like that.
Well, we're human, and like, it's natural for us to engage in chaos, which is why we have to strive so hard to rise above it.
Well, not just that, but like literally to not react, to not engage, to not have a judgment, to not have a thought, to literally not engage and get beyond it. You have to cut the ties of concern and caring. Which,
I hate that.
I know, that's why I said, like, don't accuse me of toxic positivity. This is the shitty part of the conversation. It's literally disengaging your care for this. Like, Care Bear stare my ass. Like, that's not around in this conversation, guys. Like, rising above the chaos is not actually a quote-unquote love and light thing at all.
Well, I mean, in
a way it is, but
you put it in that way, and it's like, I don't think many people can do that.
Exactly.
You know, which is why there's only a few people in Nirvana.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so funny. It's like you're reading my mind, because I just, on Instagram, I saved this meme that I'm probably sharing tomorrow, and it said, we're in samsara. We suffer here. You want something perfect, go to Nirvana. It was so great. I loved that shit. I think it was on Awakened Stardust. I'm not positive, but I was like, that was kind of perfect. I mean, this is samsara. It's not perfect. You want perfection? You want a reason to not bitch? Get your ass to Nirvana. And you know how you do that? By stopping bitching. And this isn't a soapbox moment, guys. I was kind of being funny, but at the same time, like, literally, you have to stop engaging in all ways with the chaos. And that even means your own thoughts with the chaos. Like, you can't engage at all. You can't think about it. You can't address it in any way, shape, or form, because the moment you start addressing the chaos, you're engaging with it.
And the more it comes around.
That's true, too, because the more it's in your sphere.
Engagement, yep.
Yeah. But when you literally are lifting yourself beyond the chaos, you're letting go of everything associated with the chaos and your concern with it. And to do that, like Maddie said, like, it takes a rare kind of person to be able to do that and come at me, bro. That's fine. We can have this discourse very, very respectfully. I am open to this conversation for anybody out there who's like, fuck you, Amber. Like, I will care about every single thing and still rise above the chaos. Actually, you won't. You're feeding into it. You'll rise above something. I don't doubt that in any way, shape, or form.
That's where
you'll make the world a better place. Absolutely. But you won't rise above the chaos.
So would you say people that consider themselves light workers do not rise above the chaos? People that consider themselves people who are supposed to be on this earth to help people and to care about people, because not many people do. And it's
they're here to make the world a better place, so they have to engage with the chaos. They cannot.
Okay. So these
not while they're doing.
These are two different types of spiritual people then.
I would... To rise beyond the chaos, I think you could be a light worker. You're either going to be putting your mission aside, or you're going to do that after you do what you feel is your work meant on this earth. Because in the functionality of being a light worker, you are actively engaging with all of the energies, and that includes chaos.
Yes.
To rise beyond the chaos means you gotta not touch the chaos. Like, how can you rise above it when you're holding on to it? It's a tether, it's an anchor, it's holding you down. It's keeping you from getting to Nirvana.
Well, and I think that's where some light workers come in and say, well, we made this choice to not go to Nirvana.
Yeah,
to not
totally get it.
To not rise above the chaos, to stay here with the chaos, to help others rise above the chaos. I don't know much about light work. I would love to do more research on it, if I'm being honest with you, because I see people talk shit about it all the time.
I mean, I'm a light worker. I say I'm a light worker, and I've been told by others I'm a light worker that are gifted, you know. So like I'm a light worker. I absolutely take claim for that.
I don't know much about light workers. I know light workers. I don't know if I'd classify myself as a light worker because I haven't exactly done. I don't know what it is. I don't. Other than what I just said.
Yeah. No. I mean, you got it pretty. Like literally, you're supposed to make it better when you're here. Mm-hmm. Like that's the whole point of your existence. God damn, it's not that. We were talking about looking for purpose, and I've had several times where the universe keeps being like, yeah, you're here to serve, Virgo. And I just had another one of those moments in this little conversation here, this side piece where it's like, you know, I told you and our other friend that I'm looking for purpose, and then we have this conversation. Motherfucker.
Oh my God, Amber just had an epiphany. I guess I would consider myself a light worker then, because it is my goal ultimately to do something and to leave the world better than it was when I came in to it.
I mean, I would be down to do an episode. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Maybe that would be a Patreon only. We can get my other buddy that I want you to meet in person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the energy worker. That would be amazingly fun. But anywho, in case you didn't catch that, there are bonus episodes now on our Patreon. So, hey, Victoria and Melissa, join them at patreon.com/Witches Talking Tarot. But anyway, so no, if a light worker is actively working their light to make this a better place, I am not knocking that in any way, shape, or form. But can you rise above the chaos while constantly touching it? No, I don't think so.
Well, and I think that's the thing with certain light workers is they are supposed to have reached, I don't know, I'm not speaking for light workers. If I am misunderstanding the concept, I'll figure that out because we'll do an episode on it, I'm sure. We just talked about that, so I'll figure it out later. Or if you want to, let me know in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe.
But be kind, rewind, don't be a dick.
Yeah, be kind. Be kind.
This is all about
So from what I understand is they've already risen above the chaos. They've risen above it so much so that they are able to come back down here to this planet to touch the chaos, to be able to, you know, heal those and help them rise above the chaos. That's what I understand of a light worker, right?
But while they're doing their work here, they wouldn't be able to rise above the chaos. When you're not here, like we talked about in our reincarnation and like, you know,
when you're not
episodes,
here, everybody is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So when you're here, in order to rise above the chaos, you gotta stop touching it. It's like playing with yak and expecting your hands to come away not slimy.
See, but the thing is, the way that's being said is, it sounds like you have to become a sociopath to be able to rise above the chaos.
Not a sociopath, but you've got to you can't judge anything. Anybody else's decisions or anything else. Like, you can't judge it. You can have no opinion. You remove yourself. You don't engage.
Which is why
it's not engage without being a sociopath. But if you're not engaging, you're not also actively caring about the small things that you otherwise do care about in this life. Which is where the shitty, don't tell me I'm practicing toxic positivity or preaching toxic positivity in this, because when I say what I'm saying, it's definitely not that.
So for an example, would you say Jesus? As someone who has risen above the chaos and is not touching the chaos, but also not mushroom Jesus, but actual Jesus.
There is no.
I mean, well, you know what the fuck I mean.
I know, you know what I mean. I'm looking for my words wisely because I don't believe he was a real person. So, as a mushroom,
by actual Jesus, I mean the Jesus that Christians believe. That's what I should say. So I apologize if that was offensive. I did not mean that in any way. When I said
we're not trying to be offensive. Like,
no, I meant to you. I meant to you, Amber. When I said actual Jesus, I just meant person Jesus. So I did not mean to discredit that at all. I apologize. Like, because I saw your face and I was like, I am so fucking sorry. That is not what I meant. I should have said person Jesus.
No, I knew that. That's why I was like, how do I answer this? Because I don't believe it was a person.
But the ones that Christians believe.
Okay, so if that was a real person.
I believe he was a real person, so we're of two different minds. Okay, how about this will be easier? Buddha. The Buddha.
Which one?
Motherfucker, I'm just trying to make it easier. Pick one.
Here's the thing. Like, when you, like, if you were to say Mother Teresa, you know she was actually a bad person. If you were to say Gandhi, he was actually a bad person. Yeah, he was
actually a bad person.
Yeah, right. Like, there's so many people that you think they're...
Right, but
they're not, right? So I don't know enough about most of the Buddhas to know for sure.
Okay.
The original Buddha... But, man, like, so also part of it's, like, your motives and stuff like that. I feel like one of the Buddhas had no political motives, no whatever motives. And honestly, like, I guess Buddhism would be the best, from what I know of Buddhism. It would be the best association of that mentality.
Right, and there's a couple different...
which would mean some of the Buddhas obviously probably were exactly of that. And I think that's kind of exactly their belief.
Well, there are multiple types of Buddhism. And there's one Buddhism that I have read about, which is what you're preaching pretty much. Or not preaching, what you're saying.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's the only version I think I know about.
And it also said something like no consuming alcohol or intoxicants because they themselves produce chaos within ourselves.
Okay, so that's not the one I'm... Well, so I maybe know, like, just different tenets of different types of Buddhism.
There's just so many.
Because one of my friends was a Buddhist, and he's the one that taught me the mentality of, like, do whatever the fuck you like. Do nothing to excess, because excess is... the bad ground.
Well, see, and that's
a cigarette, have a drink, but don't drink a bottle. You know what I mean?
So I think that comes with, like, there's multiple forms of Buddhism, because the one that I read about, I have books at my house. My husband had practiced for a while. This is part of why he quit practicing, is because it had preached, well, you don't want to take any intoxicants. Right. You don't want to because you have to keep yourself 100%.
You got to eat Jesus, guys.
You gotta be 100% pure, so that you can rise above the chaos. Because if you're ingesting intoxicants like alcohol or psychedelics or even cannabis or anything, you're inviting chaos around you. And this is this specific
their belief,
type, right? And this is part of why he turned away from that.
Yeah. Well, and, like, honestly, my friend telling me the version that he followed with that specific, like, you know, do nothing to excess, but everything's fine. Well, I don't think the words were specifically everything's fine, guys. Okay, it wasn't preaching, like, really bad shit. But we were just kind of talking about alcohol and drinking and smoking. And it was like, that's fine. Just don't do it to excess. You know, like, the whole point is to maintain balance and whatever. And I was like, I totally dug that shit. Like, that was cool with me. And so I'm sure there probably are several Buddhas that did exactly that, because that mentality exists of being able to remove yourself in a way from society. Mm-hmm. Because, like, society gives us a whole lot of tenets that we're supposed to fucking follow. Mm-hmm. And that creates stress. Stress causes chaos.
Well, like, society is fucking chaos. I mean,
it is.
Especially
absolutely now. Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Well, like, because I think a lot of the chaos is specifically societal.
Right, absolutely.
It is 100% societal. Absolutely. Because, like, okay,
well, there is
DC
chaos.
Listener, you can confirm this. If they keep us all stirred up like ants in a jar, we're fighting each other and not them. Well, so they want us to be chaotic.
Right. But there's also chaos in nature as well.
Yep, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, like, chaos is a part of being on this earth.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, so when we say, like, rising above the chaos, that's ultimately preparing yourself for like nirvana or reaching out and getting that side, because you say that and I'm like, is there any way to actually avoid chaos? Because even if you go out in the middle of the fucking woods, there's no society around, it is you are living off the land, there is still some form of chaos.
Are you engaging with the chaos?
Well, you gotta have firewood, so you gotta cut down the tree, which is kind of chaotic because you're killing a tree.
I mean,
or
do you have to cut down
animal?
a tree?
Well, how else would you keep warm? I mean, to sit.
Well,
to
I mean, there's
survive,
going
you
to
have
be
the basic.
There's going to be fallen trees in any typical forest.
Assuming you're not vegan, you have to eat meat for protein. Assuming you're not vegan,
I mean,
which means
there
you're
are
killing
there
something.
are options out there. So our entire world consumes. Like, everything consumes. So if you're going to equate chaos to consumption, that's an entirely different conversation. I don't necessarily equate chaos and consumption, because in order for anything in this world, like the world that we live in order for anything to exist and survive, that is a living organism, has to consume. Well, like, rocks can exist without consumption, but the grass can't.
Well, and that's where I go, there is no avoiding well, so when it comes...
But I'm not saying avoid it, I'm saying don't engage with it. If you don't engage with the chaos, you can rise above the chaos.
Yeah, but then I'm going to go ahead and quote Morticia Adams and say chaos is all a part of perspective, because what's chaos for the fly is normal living to the spider.
But see, I wouldn't call it that. I wouldn't call it chaos to the fly. That is definitely the fly's normal life. It is watching out for predators at all times because it's such a tiny creature. So I would agree to a degree that chaos and perspective are completely connected. But even under those tenets, you can still avoid chaos, avoid engaging with chaos, with it being all around you. Like, chaos exists in our society. Chaos exists in nature.
I guess it depends on what you would classify as chaos. And does everybody have the same classifications of chaos? Or, you know what I mean?
No matter what you classify as chaos, unless you're going to equate it to consumption, I think that the not engaging with chaos can be managed and done to be able to rise beyond the chaos and not engage with it. Because the only way to rise above it is to
I think it can be done. I don't think it's common. I don't think Mary fucking Sue from the Walmart can do it. I think there's a reason only a few people make it into Nirvana.
Oh, absolutely.
Or a few people, can actually live. You see all on social media all the time these people who are talking about how they're rising above the chaos and they're light workers and they're doing all this. And the reality is,
when that guy cuts you off in traffic, you're not avoiding the chaos.
Well, if every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry could rise above the chaos, we'd be a more enlightened.
Oh, fucking yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Yeah, no disagreement there, no argument.
It's harder. It's easier said than fucking done.
Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? After I had the revelation and was like, all right, so don't engage.
You can acknowledge that's what you need to do.
It's not impossible. But I have yet to manage it.
Right.
Like,
it takes
realizing
years.
Something and enacting something are two different somethings.
You know what? I'm not even going to say it takes years. I'm going to say for some people it takes
willpower.
A fucking lifetime or immense willpower. Because, like I said, my problem is like with the things saying like, oh, emotions are chaos, right?
Yup. And so if you don't accuse me of toxic positivity.
If you don't have emotions because you're rising above the chaos, or you shut off those emotions because you're rising above the chaos, that would make you a sociopath.
Well, you don't have to shut off your emotions to not engage with chaos. It's not engage with life. It's don't engage with the chaos, the things that cause upset.
Maybe you'd appear a sociopath at the very least to everybody else.
I don't give a fuck. Think
world.
Whatever you want about me.
You know, but I don't think it's possible. As we have this episode, I mean, maybe it's possible again after years and years and years and years of practice, but I don't think every Tom, Dick, and Harry can do it. I don't think everybody who
I think it'd be a lot easier to do it without having a family.
I think so too. I think that
because
that
like
right there.
literally like again like don't accuse me of toxic positivity.
And
like
you'd
have to remove you have to remove all of those thoughts, feelings, and judgments that go along with your family, your friends, everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to remove your love. That's not what this is about.
That's like
you have to remove your being upset by the things they do, being affected by the things they do. Is that
ultimately what nuns and priests are supposed to do?
I think so. I don't know.
I know, as we have this conversation, I'm like, ultimately, I think that's... Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's not you.
But, it's a very difficult thing, is what I'm getting at. It's very difficult. And a lot of people who claim that they do that probably don't do that. Because I see it on social media.
They probably don't see it the same way I see it.
Maybe, because,
sure.
I mean,
I think a lot of people see rising above the chaos as like... I am not part of this. I'm not part of the drama. Mm-hmm. That's not rising above the chaos. That's
because you're
just avoiding fucking drama.
Well, it's like
you're reacting. You're judging.
Well,
you're judging that drama when you say that.
There are people who are like,
so you're engaging.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and I'm not even gonna like guilty as charged, but like, there are people who don't like can't do what? Drama.
No, I can't do the not reacting.
No, I know.
Well, that's what made me realize that's part of rising above the chaos.
A lot of people that like don't like confrontation think because they're not confronting something, they're rising above the chaos, but they're running. You're running from
it, and you're actually feeding into the chaos because it's just going to cause more problems later down the line. And like literally, you think, and that is again where I say
that they're rising above the chaos.
Right, exactly. But they're not because they're engaging with it at all.
Right. Well, and
again, like I'm not saying it's easy. Don't get me wrong. It's something I realize. These are two different things. Well, I can't even do it yet.
There's like so many.
I try when I'm driving to not be like, you're an asshole for that. And I keep being like, you're an asshole. And then I'm like, no, they weren't an asshole.
You shared something.
Stop listening.
You shared something on your Amber is the Color page. If you guys haven't followed on Facebook, definitely check it out.
Absolutely.
But it's actually been repeating in my head multiple times when I want to fight with my husband, which is your feelings are valid, but your reaction is not.
I did not get much love for that, but I had to share it.
You didn't get much love for that?
Not like what I thought. Nobody was hateful like some of the other things I've shared. But
no, it's helped me immensely. I
me
like if I get really pissed and I'm like I want to scream and yell, I'm like my feelings are valid, but my behavior is not. So thank you for sharing that because
welcome.
It truly has helped me.
I agree. I thought that was like
I don't know if you've been.
I was afraid I was going to have backlash, but because like it also validated for me. I've said that to other people more than once, maybe not verbatim, but it's like you can feel that way, but like you can't act that way about it.
Right? I say that too, but I'm a fucking hypocrite, so I'm trying really hard to work on that.
You know we work on ourselves all the time. Like if you haven't picked up on that, y'all, if you think we're some kind of hypocrite preaching to you what we don't do, listen closer.
Look, we try.
We try, but like literally. Well,
that's the whole point. That's the whole point of rising above the chaos. You have to fucking try to eventually make it to that point.
Yeah.
And it could take a lifetime. It could take multiple lifetimes. Yep. Maybe you're reincarnated because you didn't learn to rise above the fucking chaos. Yeah. You'll get there eventually. But
I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it's just going to take time. And I agree with what you said. It's a lot easier when you don't have a family, I think.
I agree.
Because people like the Buddha or some of the multiple Buddhas, you get what you get where I'm going.
I do, because I'm all like, is this why there's so many solitary witches?
I'm sure that
not just because like people be trying to make us illegal and stuff, but because like when you don't have those attachments, it's easier to.
But damn, that
could
be seen as toxic, not toxic positivity,
right? But toxic mindset. Oh yeah, no.
Because it's like.
I just meant kind of historically, like not necessarily right at this moment, although at this moment we do have a lot of solitaries. And if you're new to the craft, like, okay, soapbox moment. If you're new to the craft, find some like-minded people. Whether you got to do it online, in your community, like whatever. Find some like-minded people. Like, when you like go at it solitary,
it's hard.
It's not, but also like you only have one filter that everything's going through and it's your own. So, like, how valid is everything you're learning? You can find any fucking thing online. Like, anything that you want to supporting evidence for, you can find online. Except for a mystery in Roanoke. Check out our last episode. Just kidding. We did find a mystery. Just not the one you're thinking. But my point is, like, a lot of people come into the craft and they think, like, oh, all the other witches out there are, like, heartless bitches that will try to steal my energy or something crazy like that. And you think, oh, I can't go into a metaphysical store on my own because they might try to hex me. Like, your thoughts are valid. However, they are colored by pop culture. Find like-minded people. Don't purposefully be a solitary because you think it's cool, or from that toxic mindset we just kind of were mentioning. Like, be a solitary, that's cool. Like, and technically we're solitaries, but we have community. And community's super important. Knowledge is power, and we can share knowledge with each other when we're open to knowing each other. And that doesn't mean tell everybody, like, everything about you.
Every time you motherfucking say that, bro, you are quoting fucking Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
What did I say?
When you say knowledge is power.
No, Littlefinger is quoting
me.
Something else.
I'm like...
I mean, did you not grow up with, like, the more you know and knowledge is power? I grew up with knowledge is power, and then it was ABC or NBC came out with that little the more you know, and then the rainbow came out of the star.
The rainbow, yeah.
You know what commercials I'm talking about?
I know the rainbow one, yeah.
And knowledge is power was before that. I'm pretty sure that's, like, why the more you know. I didn't even know Littlefinger said that.
I know, I'm just saying it reminds me of that.
I was like, I don't remember him saying that, but...
No, I wasn't saying that you were purposely doing it. I'm just saying that's what clicks in my head. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, definitely like and subscribe. What are your guys' opinions? Also, we did not discuss Chaos Witches at all. Maybe that'll be a Chaos Magic. Maybe that'll be a sister episode to this at some point, you know? Please don't think we're excluding those that thrive in the chaos.
No, not at all. This episode has nothing to do with chaos magic.
Right.
For the record. Yeah.
What? Listen to the whole fucking episode before you comment chaos magic, guys.
Right.
Because we're addressing that right now.
Yeah.
We need to start doing this in the beginning. Like,
yeah, because people should listen till the end. That's how things work. You start at the beginning and you finish at the end.
Anyway, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Classiest Witches. We already said hello to Melissa and Victoria.
So thanks for coming to sit with us this